previous episode, we learned how to make a plug-and-play indicator. Hi, I'm the Quant, and in this episode, we're going to see how to make a plug-and-play Cbot. To begin this episode, I'm going to explain how a robot works. You don't have to follow this exact example. I'm going to delete it right after. I create a new robot, and I select from scratch. Great, our new robot is here, and now we're going to understand the life cycle of a robot. We have 3 sections: on start, on tick, and on stop. Just like in the indicator, we have a string, which means text, called message. Let's run the robot and look at what happens in the log section. As you can see, the onStart section of a robot works the same way as the initialize function in an indicator. Now let's put a print inside onTick and check again. Important point. For all your backtests, if you want to confirm that a strategy is truly profitable, you must backtest it using tick data. Go to the gear icon and select onTick. The data is much more precise. As you can see, the onTick section of a robot works the same way as the calculate function in an indicator. It follows the same concept. The on-stop function, as you've guessed, is triggered when the robot is stopped. Now let me explain something important. A tick is an incoming price update. During high volatility, many ticks arrive at the same time. During low volatility, there may be long moments with no ticks at all. This function is calculated for every tick sent to the market. Let me introduce the other functions. On bar closed, on timer. We're going to place print statements inside all these functions, and we'll see exactly how each one behaves. We can clearly see all the references. On start, very regular on ticks, on bar closed, on tick, on bar, and finally on stop. Let me draw your attention to something important. Here we can see that the on bar closed function is called before the on bar function. That's because on bar is triggered at the opening of a bar, and on bar closed is triggered at the moment the bar closes. We can even see that a tick has time to slip between the two. Second thing to notice, we don't see any message from onTimer. That's normal. The timer must be initialized inside onStart in order to work. Let me show you how. Inside the onStart section, we write timer.start of 10. This means the robot triggers the timer every 10 seconds. Let's see what happens. There we go. Now we can clearly see that the on-timer messages are appearing. Now that we've explored the entire life cycle of a robot, we can move on to the serious part and add to our plug-and-play Cbot the indicator we created in the previous episode. I'm deleting this example robot, and we're starting with the one we created in the previous episode, the plug-and-play Cbot Bollinger Bands. First, I'm going to tidy up the code a little. I'm moving the instances below the parameters. This doesn't change anything in terms of execution, it just improves readability. And I'm removing the extra spaces between parameters that belong together. Before explaining everything about robots, we're going to add our custom indicator. Click on Project Settings, then on Indicators. In the search bar, you can find Plug and Play Bollinger Bands. Click it, then close the window. What we just did is tell our robot that this indicator must be accessible inside the Cbot. Now, we're going to instantiate it. We write private plug and play Bollinger Bands, and we call it signal. Then, inside the onStart section, we add signal equals indicators.getIndicator of plug-and-play Bollinger Bands. When we open the parentheses, we see that nothing appears. With custom indicators, you must manually add every parameter of your indicator, from the highest to the lowest. Let's go look at the indicator. We can see 4 parameters: source, period, deviation, and MA type. Back in the Cbot, we see the same 4 parameters, plus shift. Let's check what shift does. Select shift and press Ctrl plus F. A window opens and shows that the word shift appears twice in the code. This parameter is defined but never used, so we can remove it. Next, we add source, period, deviation, and MA type to signal. We close the parenthesis and add the semicolon. Now that we have our custom indicator, we no longer need the built-in Bollinger Bands, so we delete it. I want to draw your attention to one thing. The initialization of Bollinger Bands does not use getIndicator. This is because the native Bollinger Bands are already built into the Ctrader application. We used it that way because in our case it is a custom indicator. And finally, we add our new conditions inside onBarClosed. The by condition is, if signal.result.last of 0 equals 1 and signal.result.last of 1 is not equal to 1. The cell condition is, if signal.result.last of 0 equals -1 and signal.result.last of 1 is not equal to -1. Congratulations, your first Ctrader robot with a custom indicator is now complete. Now let's look at the results. Click on the instance, then on backtest. For a full month, we see a result of plus 13.32. Now let's check our first robot. Also on a full month. It shows plus 13.32 as well. This confirms that our custom indicator, using the exact same conditions, works perfectly and produces the same result. Now let's go back to the Cbot. Let us look at the parameters of our Cbot. We can see that a group with the name Bollinger Bands is created, but not for the volume or the label. It is important that the parameters are clearly separated to make everything easy to understand. I am going to show you how to set this up. We go back to the code, and in the parameters, we can see the word group with Bollinger Bands, but for the label and the volume, no group is created. Let us add the money management group. Let us check it. Perfect, everything works. Now, let's go back to the code. I'm going to explain you more. Let's look at the onBarClosed function. We have the condition, if, something we've already seen together. Just below, we have close positions with the parameter trade type cell. Let's take a look at that function. Inside this function, we have a for-each loop. This means, for each variable named position inside bot positions, an action must be performed. So, who is bot positions? If we press Ctrl plus F, we can see that it's the property that returns all the positions, thanks to the positions.findAll function and the label parameter. Remember, label is the parameter we can customize in the code. So within close positions, the for-each loop takes each position from bot positions and assigns it to the variable position. Next, we see a condition. If position.tradeType is not equal to the trade type we passed into the function, then we continue. Which means that if it is equal, we stop the operation. Trade type is the parameter we pass to close positions. We are checking whether the positions inside bot positions match the trade type provided to the function. And if they do, we close the position. Now let's look at how the execute market order function is built. We have a trade type. We've already seen this, buy or sell. Then it asks for the symbol name, the volume in units, and the label. You can clearly see that the two calls are different. One is buy, the other is sell. Inside this function, we can see volume in units. So, who or what is that? In onStart, we can see that we initialized a double to store the volume to trade in memory. We define this volume using the function symbol .quantity2volume in units, which takes the parameter volume in lots. Remember, volume in lots is one of the parameters of our robot. That's it. This episode is complete, and now we can say you understand your first robot. If you have any questions, join us on Discord, but before that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. In the next episode, I'll show you how we can customize your money management.